So, welcome back. As you see, Roy's not here today, so I'll be chairing the meeting. And it's a little bit odd up here with the plexiglass. I'll be trying to speak a little louder without shouting so everyone can hear me. So maybe Stacy, one of you in the back, give me an up or a down.
We can hear you pretty well.
Okay, very good. And if I'm way overdoing it, then I don't know. Give me some kind of signal. So with that, let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, that's easy. So it's a little bit different than we've been used to for the last 3 months. So it's good to see everyone back here in the chambers. And I just want to mention, some people have asked earlier on in the meetings, why can't we do these in the teams and have our committee meetings? But there is room. We have designated areas back here for the media as well. And the media, of course, is always welcome, and that just adds transparency. So with that, I'd like to look for, hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to look at the minutes, look for the appropriate motion on approving the minutes.
Make a motion. Second.
James Krasik, Mike Dearden. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Got our first resolution, HS1, the resolution authorizing the reclassification of one position in the Veterans Service Agency. I'll look for a motion for discussion.
Move for discussion. Second.
Tom? Very good. Legislator Bill, Legislator Krasik. Open for discussion. I think what I'd like to do is we've had slight anomalies occurred at I think 10:46 this morning. So our Veterans Service Agency Director, Director Hamlin is here. Jamie, would you like to fill us in on news that you have about this?
I would. Thank you very much, Legislator Trudeau. So, I want to thank everybody first and foremost for supporting the request to reclassify this position. Our county probably should have looked at reclassifying, maybe a decade ago or probably longer. So we have surrounding counties that have far less veterans that have 3 and 4 service officers in their agency. It allows them to be more proficient, to see more veterans, to do more community service function, something that I'm extremely, tied up for. So again, thank you very much to those of you who supported my request to reclassify this position. Unfortunately, there has been some development, and I'm going to take a minute to read an email that I received this morning at 10:46. So bear with me. I know many of you have been patiently awaiting news regarding the distribution of funds to grantees as promulgated by the New York State fiscal year 2021 budget. As you no doubt are aware, the impact of COVID-19 on New York State has been enormous physically, mentally, emotionally, and fiscally. I am sending this update so you understand where New York State stands on its ability to release any funds. Over the 4 years of the state financial plan, the state faces a $61 billion revenue loss solely as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've received no federal funding to offset this revenue loss. At the same time, the federal decision to delay income tax payments has delayed the receipt of billions in payments. The combination has created a significant cash crunch. As a result, the state is currently analyzing the proper timing of release of funding to ensure that the state has resources on hand to make payments. I recognize this as an unbelievably difficult time for all. I hope you all know that as soon as more information is available, I will provide an update. I understand how important and fundamental this funding is to you and your organization. If there is anything we can do in the meantime to assist, please reach out. Thank you for your patience and work during these unprecedented times. My deepest gratitude for your patience and understanding. Joel Evans, the Executive Deputy Director of the New York State Division of Veteran Services. So what does this mean for the Veteran Service Agency? Well, I picked up the phone and called Mr. Deputy Director Evans and talked with him and the General Counsel for the New York State Department of Veterans Affairs. And not only does this look like a 2021 budget impact, but they have not released the 2020 funds for our budget this year either. With that being said, The local share for my agency consists of only salary and contractual expenses. All operating line items that were included in this budget modification are paid for by the state, which is now money I no longer have. So I cannot justify asking for your continued support on this reclassification of the position, even though it is greatly needed, in a good conscience. So if you have any questions, I'm free to answer them, but again, thank you for your support, but I couldn't move forward asking for you to reclassify this position, knowing I can no longer pay for it.
Legislator Krasik.
So Jamie, are you asking to withdraw this resolution?
I would ask that this is tabled until I have further information pertaining to whether or not I'm gonna receive the funds for this year.
Can I make a motion to table?
I'll second it.
You got a motion by Legislator Krasik and a second by Legislator Drum to table until next month. So we'll table it until next month's committee meeting.
Should
that-
have money, then we'll go another one.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank you for your honesty and forthcoming with the information.
Yep.
Thank you.
I echo that.
Any other questions for Director Hammer? So I echo that. Thanks very much. We've been talking about this a long time. We've wrestled with it, and it was in all likelihood going to go forward. So we appreciate your diligence.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only other thing I'll say on it, Mr. Chairman, and we're all in the same boat here, but since the onset of this, we've been doing a pretty good job of sticking together on this stuff and trying to row in the right direction.
Yep.
And we're just looking. I want it to be on the record for the state and federal government. More specifically, the federal government, if the state's truly looking at these federal funds to supplement to the state and local governments, to just come up with something. I mean, we've seen this try to get pushed through in previous stimulus packages, and we've seen the politics of Washington, D.C. come into play multiple times. This is what it trickles down to. It trickles down to a couple $1,000s that we're sitting here talking about because folks in D.C. can't get together and get stuff done. So I just want that to be on the record, as we have to table this because we're the ones that, face it at the end of the day. So I just want to make sure I had that on the record.
Right. Any other comments? So the motion to table until the July Human Services Committee meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Our next resolution, HS2, resolution awarding professional services contract, Workforce Development Board. Look for appropriate motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to discuss, first by Legislator Stahl. Second by Legislator Michael Yurden. Any discussion on the workforce development? That sounds good. There's a pretty good explanation in our package. So any, going once, going twice, any discussion on it?
Very long read.
All in favor then?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The next resolution is Resolution HS3, resolution awarding professional services contract for school-based mental health services. I'll look for the appropriate motion.
I'll make the motion.
Legislator Stahl
Second.
and Legislator Michael Yurden. Any discussion then on the school-based mental health services?
I have to abstain.
Go ahead, Legislator Krasik.
I work for Ryan.
Oh, did you say abstain? Okay.
Go ahead, Tom.
I just want to say I am, as we've seen a number of years, these school-based mental health offices are critical to the development of our youth. And I am so thankful to see us in this county taking a very proactive approach to this. I'm very thankful for the work being done in our local county offices and the partnerships throughout. We have a large rural area, we have a large rural population, and we have a number of school districts. And I'm just very thankful to see that this is being spread out amongst our county and targeting those who are most in need of it. So I'm very excited about this resolution today, and I hope that the schools that do not currently have offices, we could again continue to target those because I know the need, and I know that this is servicing that need. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes, Legislator Drum.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just, I want to make sure I understood it. Legislator Stahl was nice enough to bring me into the fold to answer partial of my question before the meeting, but I want to just make sure I understand the funding stream for this. So it's not to exceed $30,000. Is that, it's been a while since we've done one of these. I know we talked about this at length last year. That $30,000, is that upfront county funding to get the program off the ground in the school district, and then the program is self-sufficient after that? Do I understand that correctly?
I believe that is correct, but let me defer to Nicole Colmsey, who's here with us today.
Yeah, it is startup funding, it's
Okay.
New York State OMH funding
Oh,
that we're
okay.
using, and the
Right.
provider needs to, we're not paying in advance, they need to demonstrate that they've expended funds. Their expenses are exceeding any revenue they would be generating from their billable services in order to receive the $30,000.
Okay. So, that makes sense. And what was the state organization that it comes from?
New York State Office of Mental Health.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Does that answer your question then?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a pretty good package in here, and I'd urge you, if you haven't read it, for everyone to read it.
That's good. If I could also add, last year we also authorized an additional three school-based mental health visits. And that was one-time upfront funding that, again, is not being included in this year's budget as well for additional. That those have been able to, my understanding is they're all working smoothly. Nicole, do you want to speak to those three?
Yes, there were three, from the RFP award last year, we did approve two providers, Liberty Resources and Arise, to participate in the project. At that time, Arise was not in a position to be able to work in the schools that we were focused on last year. So Liberty Resources did move forward with that and opened 3 sites that are open and have been full staffed with full-time clinician in each one of those. Mexico High School, APW, Junior Senior High School, and Phoenix Elementary School. So there are 3 additional sites that Liberty is working on to be determined based on where the schools are at with regards to their ability to take in a new partnership and with students, whether or not students are returning. So obviously with the pandemic, with those reopening of schools, the plans for that is going to kind of dictate when
Right.
those new sites might get up and running. We don't want to open sites and have them staff them if they're not able to generate the ability to use the service. And we're sort of throwing our startup funding away.
Chairman, can I ask another question? Nicole, so this was funding from last year. Is the understanding that, again, we just heard state funding has been a little bit, uncertain. Is the expectation that if Liberty or any other schools, I guess schools is the question, would be interested in partnering this, that we would maybe have another round of another RFP that would go out to look to spread into additional schools that don't currently have it? Have you heard from OMS that they either do have this funding available or do not have this funding available?
The funding, until I hear otherwise, which everybody is waiting to hear otherwise, is recurring annual funding. So I have this money every year to continue to do additional sites until we reach every building in the county.
So with last year having 90,000 available, this year we're only earmarking 30. Is there the potential for additional sites for next year, or?
This year, for the 2020-2021 school year budget, there's $90,000 allocated in the current budget for Liberty. And this is $30,000 for Arise.
Okay.
So we have within the existing budget resources for 4 additional sites this year.
Understood. So the 3 that we talked about from last year, those are counted in this year's budget, is that correct? Or you're saying there's 3 new ones for Liberty outside of the, oh, okay, 3 additional for this year. Understood. That's great.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to point out, considering what happened to veterans earlier today and the uncertainty of the state following through on funding, if you take a look at attachment A on page 14, the first 2 clauses begin with the words "if and so long as funds are available." So we are going to include similar language in every contract the county has that involves state funds, so that we're not obligated to make up the difference of any state shortfall with any contract. The service just doesn't happen.
So,
Nope.
so if we are to add 3 additional sites through Liberty in the future, that's covered under the RFP that was awarded last year, is that correct? Or would we come to a new RFP with new award?
No, that RFP was for 5-year renewable 12-month contract.
Oh, okay. So but it would be in different schools, correct? So the 3 that it was in for last year would allow for 3 more this year, and with that 5-year contract, it could be 3 every year for.
That's the goal, that is the
Understood.
plan.
Okay, perfect. Can I ask, is that also true with the Arise contract here? Was there also going to be an available Arise for next year or the year after for 5 years? Is it also a 5-year agreement? Or is that a one-time?
There's the opportunity to do that. The site for Central Square that is in the packet today for resolution for Rise, that site came up as a result of the transition from Oswego Hospital. The prioritized districts are what Liberty is working on, so we're going to continue to really try to focus on those, and that's Phoenix, Mexico, ATW, Alaska, and Sandy Creek.
Thank you.
Is that really it?
I'm done. Go ahead.
Those are all insightful questions. Thank you for asking those. Is there any further discussion? And again, I urge you on each one of these to please take a look at the additional information in the package. And Nicole knows I've asked her many times the last couple of years. She sent me this stuff. I talked to her personally on the phone. Just getting through the acronym soup at times. But it's very educational to know what they are. So for HS3, the awarding of the school-based mental health services contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Very good.
What I'm saying.
Oh, no abstention. Thank you. All right, committee review and decisions. Request for, the next bulleted item, our request for approval to issue an RFP for January of 2021 for mental health vocational services professional contract. So we don't need a vote.
They're just looking for authorization to go out for an RFP.
Yeah. So any comments on going out for the RFP, the request for, professional request for proposal? There you go. Thank you. RFPs. Legislator Prasik.
If you bring in the money, yeah, go for it.
Good.
And then I would just ask, as I've asked before, that we include either the chairman or vice chairman of this committee on the RFP review board if possible.
All right. Can you put that in the notes? Please, Betsy. So did everyone hear Tim's comment on the request for proposal to include what the chairman or the vice chairman? And I would only add to that for someone that might not be familiar with it. When these go out, it just adds another set of eyes on this, so that when it comes up in discussions, when it comes to the floor, we've just had somebody that's already looked at it from the legislator's perspective, rather than just the expert perspective of the directors and those people that work for them. So it's a good idea to do that. Thank you. Any other discussion or comments on that? So next up then will be the reporting departments. And for the sake of brevity, I would just ask if there's pertinent comments any of our directors want to make. We're certainly open to hearing them. I know that Director Albert recently sent out a very, very good department update. It was sent out electronically. Everyone should have received that. I hope you've had an opportunity to look it over. So Director Albert, do you have anything you'd like to add, or anyone have any questions?
Unless anyone has any questions.
And I definitely don't want to curtail any discussion or whatever, but we've been doing these a little bit quicker because of circumstances. So please, again, same thing with Director Albert. How many times have we sat and discussed and phone called and emailed? She's entirely open to all of that. So in between our meetings or whenever, please give her a call directly, and I guarantee she'll answer you directly and get the answers.
I believe our annual report, I did finish that right before I left for vacation last week. I don't know if that got distributed. Our 2019 annual report, not ringing a bell?
I don't know.
No.
No, it's not in the packet.
All right, Phil, I'll send that on to you, and
Okay.
You can distribute it by email for people, or post it on the web, or whatever you want to do.
Send it to Chris Jones and Betsy.
Chris and Betsy, sure. Yep.
Very good. Director Hamlin, anything to add? Veteran Service Agent? No? Any additional questions for Jamie? Office of the Aging, I don't see Sarah here today, but Youth Bureau, Brian's back there. If anybody have any questions, comments, or anything they'd like to chat with Brian about for the benefit of everyone here. Legislator Drum.
What camp open? You guys opened up when? This week? Today? I thought I saw that. All right, cool. We're open today, briefly. There's 20 kids there today. No problem other than one thing you run into all the time, if somebody signs their kid up Friday, for example, for camp this week, they have to show up with their paperwork because we're trying to keep things as clear of everybody as possible. So when you get their paperwork, you realize they didn't sign it or something, you have to hand it back and get it signed. That's really the big only red flag, knock on wood, that we've run into today so far. It's been pretty.
And this is just day camp, this one.
Just they can't. And there's, of those 28 kids that are there, 12 of them are taking advantage of the early drop off for the people who are working. They're getting that breakfast sandwich.
Cool, good luck.
Thanks. And I will email you all, or I'll send it to Chris to distribute my report. I guess I'm used to the traditional thing of just going out, but not to waste time. I'll send it to them.
Great.
Director Chutney, I just had a question. Is there anything that you folks in your office have been thinking about if the school year is interrupted next year? Is there anything, I mean, I don't know if a partnership between DSS and, is there anything we've been talking about on the county side of how we're going to address that if and when the kids are not sent back to school? I mean, are we hearing anything from the state on that, or?
The state has not really given us any guidance yet as to where we will be with that. I mean, as a organization, we continue to redevelop how we directly work with our students. You know, a lot of our programming wasn't around in March, so we had to conclude that programming. So a lot of that became creatively displaced as to electronic and just working differently as you're going to do so. So a lot of what we have plans like house, we're looking at house, we have plans A, B, and C for anything that we're going to have to do in the fall. So whether we're normal, whether we're partial, or whether we have to totally redesign what we do. But as for particular guidance from the state, that hasn't come in. From my last 2 days on school board, I will tell you that they have all, I mean, there's no perfect answer, but they are trying everything they wrote to have them in school in the fall.
Is there, if I could, is there a bigger discussion that's needed on the county level? I know obviously school districts are a little bit separate animal, but we do interact with them quite a bit. Is there more that we need to do on the planning side for if and when parents are obviously not able to watch their children?
Yes. There's unknowns as to where people are going to be at. It's conversations that I have daily with others, like people at BOCES and things of that matter. One of the big concerns is we notice the county transportation. Buses, if they're saying if they can only be at a quarter of capacity, there's not enough buses. So that's gonna, there's a lot of ideas.
Director Albert.
There is indeed a daycare planning committee. We have an agency, integrated planning council, and IPC is kind of spearheading. This was a committee that came to be because of the county anti-poverty coalition, and it was the one huge area for daycare and after-school programming that didn't have a lot of collaboration, and so we're kind of on hold with a lot of these advisory boards and planning committees until we get the green light to move forward with that work. But there is indeed an entity that is looking at that and could be kicked in to look at the whole COVID planning piece.
Just for the sake of records, could you please get with Deputy Clerk and just whoever is on that daycare planning committee by position, please get that put in the record.
This issue not only affects people we serve, but affects our own employees. So I have HR looking at work from home policies and other things we may have to do to accommodate our employees who have kids at home.
I caution you too, with any committee that you have, to make sure it's clearly defined as the fact that 9 school districts all act independently of 9 of each other. They cannot follow the same rules.
Say that again, please.
9 school districts will follow 9 different sets of rules.
Right.
They all have their own bylaws and their own policies, and I learned that the hard way, that why don't we do this instead of doing a handful of us to agree that, you know, so you have to make sure you're careful that all 9 are on the same page, and that's going to be a big challenge. Because we know there's at least 2 new
Are you on the daycare planning committee, Brian?
I have not been asked.
Okay. Okay.
Fulton has talked about A day and B day. So they've talked about having kids go to school on alternating days. And then again, they've also talked about the fact that there's little to no transportation and that they can't fiscally meet the requirements put forward by the CDC to arrange the classrooms as required. So they've also just talked about entirely going to online learning or doing 1 week on and 1 week off as a whole. So again, Phil hit the nail on the head there. You have employees, who are not going to forego employment because they have a child at home. There's got to be a happy medium there. But Fulton is different than Oswego, so.
Yeah, I think they learned that without the planning that the learning from home, they all had different plans. And that's my point, that they'll all say we did it as to what we were interpreted the law to be and as it was. And that's why lots of questions came out to why is Fulton doing this? And my friend who goes to Oswego is not. Why is Hamilton doing this? And so that's my whole point, is you gotta get them all on the same page. And I don't know who exactly does that, because they have their own rules.
Mostly superintendent does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
I imagine Chris is already meeting the superintendents, don't you think?
I would agree with that statement though, but I will also tell you that from what I got from my school board position, we were informed from our superintendent that Chris Todd had agreed to the plan that Oswego was doing, and then others will tell you that Oswego was not doing what was needed from the start. So that's, I guess what I'm getting at is we may have been doing what we were told we were doing and met the requirement, but as we're thinking of the whole county, I think we all want to be on the same page, so that if, again, Fulton is doing something that's productive and working well, the other districts really should try to follow in line instead of saying, well, we're doing the minimum, we're good, not to bash a particular district, but I think they all need to be trying to work together so that we accomplish the same goals.
Did you have anything to add? Very, very good discussions. I've written down.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mike.
do they still have the, Sawyer County Board of Presidents Association operation? They used to have.
What is it called? What is it
School
called?
Board Presidents.
Oh, yes.
County
School board
Association.
presidents,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would think that board, some declaration go through there, and the superintendent to get together. I mean, I think that having served 15 years on the school board, I know how things like that function, and, but yeah, that coordination's gotta come from those people. It's just because of the complexity of it, different needs, different areas of school districts, and we all have the same need for the students, and I think that when I talk to people about this distant learning of Chromebooks and all that stuff, it's not been very effective, by the way. Okay? You have different areas of the county that have poor Wi-Fi connections. It's very difficult because we don't have a good high-speed signal for everybody's house. So that it poses a unique problem, and I think that the coordination of that should come from those people. We certainly would be here to support it, but I think that coordination can't be done by us. It can't be done by us.
That's
Let's-
a good idea.
Legislator Crassan.
Yeah, I just want to point out, at this point in time, with what we're facing now, there are school districts in this country that have more students than one district that we've got in this county. This is ridiculous. We have 9 school districts in this county, and we face this kind of problem, and now we've got to sort out 9 different entities to see what needs to happen. I'm not saying it needs to be 1, but possibly 2 or 3 at the maximum. At some point, people need to step up to the plate and realize that this is going to continue to be an issue. And it's not going to be just this time around. What about the next time around? I mean, the discussions that we're having shouldn't even be taking place. It should be, you've got the right people in the right location, and we're not serving 9 different entities and trying to worry about what one's doing and I'm not doing. we literally, you guys have got them in your district, I've got them in mine, where one side of the road is going to one school district and the other side of the road is going to another school district. I mean, this is crazy. Just had to say it.
You also gotta keep in mind that, is we're all aware sitting in this room, as of last time I checked, the state has not caught school funding yet. So that still is yet to be potentially coming. So as we're talking with districts as well as how they're gonna get through, they may be dealing with huge holes in their budget that they're gonna have to address.
Dr. Hammond, did you have another comment?
No, I was gonna add into just the disparity between the districts. You know, Fulton provided Wi-Fi hotspots and computer Chromebooks to all students that did not have access to Wi-Fi and did not have access to a computer. And we had structured class 3 times a week using Google Classrooms. And our students were graded on their work that they had to conduct throughout the week, as where other districts had 0 interaction online.
What I was sort of saying is that, I know St. District did that, Chromebook and everything. No, what I'm saying is that, there are parts of this county that has very poor
Oh, you mean access?
access to the
Okay.
Wi-Fi, okay? So if you don't have access to the Wi-Fi, the Chromebook's not gonna do a whole lot good.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying, that's my point. And I think that, just one other comment, I think that here again, it is not our job here to consolidate school districts. And I can tell you another thing, you would get a lot of pushback if you tried that the other countywide.
Yeah, that's a discussion. That's generally a discussion for another time, but it's an in-depth discussion for another time. We brought it up here and it's in depth. All right, so thank you to the directors for your reports. So right now I'm looking at then their HS1 has been tabled, HS2 and HS3 have both been approved. We've had our department head reports, and we've made the approval to go ahead with the RFP for the January 2021 mental health. Is there anything else anyone would like to add pertinent? Yes, Director Albert.
I just want to advise the committee that the next Human Services Committee meeting, I will be on vacation. So Marty will be here to connect to any issues we might be having.
Do we put that to a vote? Why are you laughing?
Well, he's going to be, he deserves some time off and relax.
Yeah,
Get away from home.
I earned my paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can say this, I hate to say on behalf of anyone, but I'll say it this time. I hope you have a good time on your VA, wherever you're going, or if you're staying home. You do a lot of good hard work for us, so I hope you enjoy yourself.
Thanks,
Turn off
Brad.
your phone. Turn your phone off.
And
Texas.
so, Administrator, anything to add? That's anything to add? All right, with that then, I'd like to look for the appropriate motion.
Make a motion.
Second, I say you're very good. All in favor?
Aye.